In this video, we're going to talk about how to create good condition pages for your website. Most practitioners will want to include some information about the different conditions that they treat on their website. So, for example, on his fictional osteopathy site, there are pages for back pain, sports injuries, carpal tunnel, and so on. We've created an example condition page here for scoliosis treatment, physical therapy for scoliosis in Brighton. And what we're going to do is go through this page, look at the different aspects of it and the different elements which make it very, very good for SEO and make sure that anyone searching for scoliosis treatment in the area is going to find this page. Let's just look very quickly at why we create condition pages for a website in the first place. This is from the blog post which accompanies this video, and as we can see, first and foremost, they give us an opportunity to show up in searches. So if someone's typing into Google knee pain treatment near me and you have a knee pain page, you're much more likely to show up in that search. Secondly, they're also very useful to anyone looking for treatment, whether or not they type that into Google. If I'm looking for scoliosis treatment and you have a scoliosis page, even though I didn't type that into Google, it's going to be very reassuring, and I'm going to think that's the practitioner that can help me. The next thing is that it also raises our profile in the eyes of the patient, because if you're coming to a website and you can see that someone's taken the time and the effort to write lots of useful information about different conditions, it's very reassuring for the patient and for the user to know that you've done that and know that you know what you're talking about. They also give us a general SEO boost, because websites which contain lots of useful information, lots of links, both outbound and internally, are going to be seen as more useful generally by Google than websites which contain very little information. And last of all, they also make it easier for us to get inbound links to our site. If you've got a really useful page on neck pain or backache or anything else, you can then use that page to go out and ask for links for other websites. Hey, I saw you've got some information on back pain. You might find this useful. Would you be interested in linking to it on your website or from your social media? So it also gives us a way to get more people to come in and look at our site in the first place. Before we begin optimizing the page, we're going to need to know what terms to optimize it for. Now, the main ones are going to be the name of the condition and your location. So in this case, scoliosis and Brighton or wherever else you happen to be. Now, in this one, we've put physical therapy and emphasized physical therapy throughout the copy. And the reason we've done that is that people searching for different conditions tend to use different words. And people who are searching for scoliosis treatment generally tend to look for doctor, specialist, or physical therapy above any other practitioner or form of treatment. Now, you can only be a doctor if you're actually a doctor. You can only be a specialist in so many things. You can't call every single condition page on your website something specialist. So that's why we've gone for physical therapy here for scoliosis. Someone who's looking for back pain treatment is much more likely to type in clinic and look for a back pain clinic. The same with sports injury. So you might say on your sports injuries page, sports injury clinic, but we've gone for physical therapy here on the scoliosis page. If you want to know more about this and about different SEO data, you can get our manual therapy SEO review guide, or also just comment down below in the comments and ask what are the best terms for this condition or that condition, and I'll answer and let you know. So let's have a look at how to start optimizing this page, and the most important place is to put the key phrases that we're optimizing for, which are scoliosis, physical therapy, and Brighton. So first of all, we want to make sure that they appear in the URL or the page address. So up here we've got scoliosis physical therapy Brighton is the address of the page. Then next thing we're going to want to make sure it also appears in the title tag, which is often called the SEO title. So here in Yoast, it's called the SEO title. And that's going to appear up here in the browser tab. Now we can check that if we go to the source code of the page and then search for the title tag. Can see here we go, it says physical therapy for scoliosis in Brighton. So we're hitting all of our terms there. Where it says market your clinic online, that's just because obviously it's our website here, and that would be the name of your clinic in real life, or that could be just left out altogether, and the title of the page could be just physical therapy for scoliosis in Brighton. Next most important thing is the H1 tag. Now here we've just called that scoliosis, and that's the title of the page. So if we look here and search for H1, see there it is, just scoliosis. Now the reason for that is because The title of this page makes more sense if we call the H1 tag just scoliosis up there and entitle the page scoliosis. Then I've put all the search terms that we're hitting in this H2 tag underneath. Another way of doing it would be to actually leave the page visually the same, but to switch those around. So make this an H2 tag and this an H1 tag, even though this H2 tag will then be bigger on the screen than the H1. That's another way of ensuring that we get all of our different terms in the H1 tag there. The next thing is to look at the meta description as well. So again, I've done this in Yoast, and we can see here specialist physical therapy, which can help manage scoliosis and treat the underlying causes. Easy online booking for our Brighton clinic. So we're hitting physical therapy, we're hitting scoliosis, we're hitting Brighton, and also squeezing in these other words, specialist and clinic, which tend to be quite good for local searches as well. Another thing that's worth just pointing out there is that I haven't said scoliosis treatment. According to ASA guidelines, osteopaths aren't allowed to say they treat scoliosis directly, so we have physical therapy which can help manage scoliosis and treat the underlying causes. Last thing as well is to now look at our H2 and H3 tags, which are basically the headings on the rest of the page. So we have what is scoliosis, different types of scoliosis, different types of scoliosis, idiopathic, degenerative, functional, scoliosis treated, different ways of treating scoliosis, physical therapy again in there, scoliosis treatment in here, scoliosis appointment, Brighton again in here, clinic in here, and so on. We want to make sure that those are in our subheadings in our H2 and H3 tags as we go throughout the page. Then when Google looks at this page, it's going to say, okay, the URL is there, it's talking about scoliosis physical therapy in Brighton. The description is scoliosis physical therapy Brighton. The H1 and H2 tags are scoliosis physical therapy Brighton. The title tag contains scoliosis physical therapy Brighton. Anyone who's searching for physical therapy for scoliosis in Brighton or terms associated with that is much more likely to find this page. Google is going to know that this is a relevant page for their search. So let's look now at what information we're going to put on the page and how we're going to structure the page in a way that it's going to be both useful to the potential patient and also good for SEO. Now, there's a structure that we tend to use for this, which goes, first of all, define the condition, talk about what the condition is, what causes it, how you might know if you have the condition, and so on. Then talk about how the condition is treated in very general terms and different treatment options that are available to the potential patient. Then talk about our approach to treating the condition, the particular treatment that you offer. Then talk about us, about your clinic, give the patient some information about why they should choose you and the opportunity to book with a call to action. Then useful links and resources to other information the patient might find useful. And then last of all, a medical review. So let's have a look at those on the scoliosis page here. We can see, first of all, we see what is scoliosis, the different types of scoliosis. We're talking about the condition in general. If it was back pain, for example, we might also talk about the different causes of back pain and so on, different ways you may have developed this problem. We then go on to talk about how it's treated in very general terms, so surgery, braces, and medicines, things that the physical therapist doesn't actually going to offer, but what puts the treatment into a bigger context and is also very useful for the patient and for SEO. You see, we've got lots of links here to third-party sites and other sites, which we'll talk about in a minute. And this structure is a really good way of giving us opportunities to put links into other sites, and we'll see why that's so important. We then go on to our approach to scoliosis treatment, the particular treatment that you offer for that condition, rather than the more general information. A little bit here about the clinic as well, and you're selling yourself, saying why a patient should choose you over someone else, and then a call to action saying, now you've seen all this information, you can now book an appointment. We then have useful links, both, first of all, internal links to information on the rest of our site, which could be useful to the patient, and then also useful links outbound to other websites, which may be useful to the scoliosis sufferer who's looking for treatment or who's looking for more information. Last of all, as we said, the medical review just says that the information on this page has been reviewed by a medical professional. Now, this is really important because Google looks for what's called your money or your life searches, YMYL searches, which are basically anything to do with your finances or your health. Google wants to make sure that the information is provided by someone who's competent and who knows what they're talking about. So this allows Google to see that this information has been created by a medical professional and not just Joe Blogs who doesn't know what they're talking about. It's got a link to Barney Smith's page here where you'll be able to see his qualifications and a little bit about him. Google will read that with artificial intelligence to make sure that this page has been created by someone who knows what they're talking about. The last thing to mention here as well is you can see that we've actually created some of these subheadings as questions. So instead of just putting about scoliosis, we put what is scoliosis? And then down here, instead of just scoliosis treatment, how is scoliosis treated? Google likes answered questions. It knows that most people who are using the internet are looking for the answer to a question. So by phrasing some of our subheadings as questions, we also just get a little bit of a bonus search engine juice there, and Google is going to rank us just that tiny bit higher. So the next thing we're going to look at is the images on the page. Now, obviously, images are very useful on any web page. They're essential to keep the reader interested and just give an idea of what the page is about without them having to read all the text. A lot of users will skim through the page, look at the images and look at the captions to see what the page is about before they think about reading all of the text here. Now, Google will actually do exactly the same thing. So for both Google and for our user, we want to make sure that our images and our image captions are also optimized. So if I go through the images on the page here and read the captions, I can see scoliosis is a sideways curvature of the spine. There are three main types of scoliosis. Physical therapy can help to manage scoliosis. We're here to help with your scoliosis. And there are various organizations who can help with scoliosis. So basically, just by skimming through the page, looking at the images and reading the captions, I've got a pretty good idea what this page is about. Add that to the subheadings that we've got as well, the H2 tags, and it's very, very clear the structure of the page and what the information here is, without you having to read all of the text. Now, the user will do that, but Google will also do the same thing, which is why it's important to make sure that our key terms we're optimizing for are in all the image captions and also in the image alt tags. Alt tags are tags which are associated with each image, which tell people who are using screen readers, who are visually impaired and can't see the images, what the image is about. So if I look at this image here, and see the alt tag says, physical therapist examining woman with scoliosis. Now again, Google is also reading those alt tags. For one, Google likes you to have alt tags so that people who are visually impaired can still get the most out of your page. But Google will also use them to say, well, what is this image? What is this image about? So by ensuring that they're well optimized and say, these are images that are representative of a physical therapist, a physical therapy exam, and so on, then we can optimize our page even further for Google to make sure it knows that this page is about physical therapy for scoliosis. So let's look now at the outbound links from this web page. Now, although the best thing you can do for your web page or your website is to have other websites linking into you, as far as on-page optimization goes, we can gain a lot from linking out to other high authority sites. So as we go through here, we can see that where it says idiopathic scoliosis is first diagnosed in childhood, that's a link to Info page on idiopathic scoliosis in children and adolescents. Then as we go down to degenerative scoliosis, that links to a page on spine health about degenerative scoliosis. And then as we come down here and it talks about surgery for scoliosis, that's a link to this scoliosis treatment in children page on the NHS. Throughout the page, we look to have links out to other high authority sources. So as we go through the entire page, we've got links to Info, Spine Health, NHS Healthline, WebMD, Physiopedia, Healthline again, NHS again. And so it goes on. We have all these different outbound links on this page. They're all linking to very high authority sources. Now, as well as being helpful for the user who's looking for more information on scoliosis and pointing them in the right direction, this also shows Google that we're a hub of useful information on scoliosis and that we agree with all these high authority sources, that we're part of this debate, we're part of the wider knowledge of scoliosis, and that we're a hub of useful information, which makes us more useful again to the person searching for scoliosis treatment. As well as outbound links, you also want to make sure there are plenty of links within your own website, that the pages are interlinked. Now, obviously, because this is just one example page, these links don't go anywhere, but here there would be a link to our ankle injury page, our sciatica page, and then as we get a bit further down, there'd be links to here to the clinic page, to our About Osteopathy page, About Us page, What to Expect page, Contact Us page, and so on, as well as links here to the blog. Now, all of that to Google just makes it seem that your website is much more easy to navigate. If someone wants to know a bit more about what you're saying here, there's already a link here to go and talk more about it to the page that's relevant to that. That will also give more credibility to that page. So, for example, if you've got a page on your Brighton clinic and then you have 10 links in from other pages, and the link text for all of those is Brighton Clinic, then that Brighton Clinic page gets more authority for the term Brighton Clinic. In the same way this page is called Scoliosis Physical Therapy for Scoliosis, if you mention in a few other places on your website that we offer physical therapy for scoliosis, we offer therapy for various treatments, including scoliosis, and every time you have that, you link into this page, then even though it's from your own website, Google still sees that as, well, hang on, there are pages that are linking to this page, and the link text for that is scoliosis. So people are seeing scoliosis. If they're interested in scoliosis, they're clicking on that to get to this page. So once again, that raises this page's authority for the term scoliosis, physical therapy for scoliosis, and so on. So make sure that you have plenty of internal links from all your different pages to all of your other pages, and always the link text is the thing that that page is about. Now, last of all, I did mention it earlier, but it bears mentioning again, make sure there's a call to action on your page. So what we're doing here with all this information is someone can read about our knowledge and see that we know what we're talking about, find out that the treatment is right for them, find out that we're a fantastic clinic here, and then come to book an appointment. So we're funneling people into that point and they go, yep, this is great, I want to book an appointment with these people. Don't then make it difficult for them. Don't make them have to go and click somewhere else and search for it. Straight away, there is a button, book now. You might also put your Clinico embed right on this page so that people can book an appointment, pick a time and pay without even having to leave the page. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it useful, and if you have, please don't forget to like and subscribe using the links below. At Market Your Clinic Online, we specialise in websites and search engine optimization for manual therapy clinics such as physiotherapists, osteopaths, and so on. We also publish the Manual Therapy SEO Reference Guide, which tells you exactly what people are searching for online around manual therapy. We also offer a free web review where we'll have a look at exactly what you're doing online and look at any areas you might be able to improve and give you some free tips that you can implement yourself. If you'd like one or we can help in any way at all, please don't hesitate to drop me a line.